Hello, everybody. Beatle Dave talking to you from Derbyshire in the UK. This is a channel that's all about the Beatles, records, CDs, LPs, singles, books, films. It's also about record collecting in general. So, it is a record collecting site as well as a Beatles site. As you know, we was lucky enough to go to Liverpool for a few days in the week. And it is like our second day in Liverpool. We always go on the train. As soon as we get on the train, it's just like, bloody hell, we're back at home. That's how it feels. If you've never been, folks, please, 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 just pay a visit, whether you just go for day trip or whatever. It's a wonderful place. If you're into architecture and stuff like that, there's some wonderful buildings. Obviously, there's interest for the Beatles and things like that. Then you've got your ferry, and they go across the Mersey and things like that. It's not all about the Beatles. There's a lot of other bands that originally came from Liverpool. It's a lot of the touristy thing is set up for the Beatles, which the Beatles fanatic like me, I love. But there is other things there. So if you've never been, please just go and visit Liverpool. Whether you're into the Beatles or not, there'll be something there for you. There's lovely pubs, restaurants, like I say, lots of museums and stuff like that there as well. You'll have to excuse me because I'm a bit out of breath today. So we're going to carry on with looking at some of the records that we actually bought while I was there. Again, this one is from Dig Records in Bold Street in Liverpool. So it's if you're into your records, just go in there anyway, because there's some really, really nice record shops in Liverpool as well now. Some are second hand, some are new, and some do a mixture of both. I think Dig Records do a mixture of both. They actually sell LPs from £1, £1 upwards. The ones I bought was a little bit more than that, to be honest. But I did actually buy one for £1. So this is it's not the Beatles today on this one, although it is a Liverpool act. Sometimes they're like forgotten pop stars of Liverpool, I think, in a lot of ways. Gerry and the Pacemakers. They didn't have a very long career in a lot of ways. I think the recording career was like 1963 to late 1966, if I remember rightly. Although they did, I think Gerry Marsden did like reform some sort of Gerry and the Pacemakers in the 70s, but I don't think I think he was the only original member. Obviously, he's no longer with us. He was a good songwriter in his own right, although a lot of the songs that they're famous for were actually written by other people. But he was a very, very talented songwriter and a good guitarist as well. And he was mates with John Lennon, wasn't he, when he was growing up in at school and stuff. They was always like hanging around together. I think with John Lennon, Jimmy Tarbuck, and Joe Marsden, wasn't it? It was like in a little gang when they was growing up, apparently. So this is Jane the Pacemakers, the EP collection. So, or these it is on LP, which might sound a bit strange, but there's quite a few LPs released in the UK that said the EP collection. It was just a collection of the EPs put onto one LP. This is from 1987, I think this came out, and it's on Cipher Miles Records, which was a subsidiary of EMI, if I remember rightly. But it has got like a lot of liner notes on the back, and that is the front. So this is what a lot of the original EPs would have looked like. And of course, Joe and the Pacemakers were managed by Brian Epstein as well, weren't they? And the famous story is, how true it is, I don't know, that how do you do it? Brian Epstein originally wanted the Beatles to do it, and they did record it, but they didn't really want to like release it. And the rumor is, or the myth is, that they turn around to Brian and goes, well, if you're that sure it's going to be a hit, why don't you give it to Joe and the Pacemakers? And they did, and they had a #1 hit with it, didn't they? You can actually, I think the original Beatles version is on Anthology, isn't it? I'm sure it's on Anthology. And so it was on the Aborted Sessions LPs as well, but we get bootleg versions of that anyway. So it's on C for Miles, so the catalogue number is SEE or C95. You do actually get a barcode with it as well. Like I say, this is actually in virtually mint condition. Some really nice songs on it as well. So you've got 22 songs in total. 22 songs, and it's only one LP. It's not a double LP. Excuse me. So side one starts off with, "How do you do it? How do you do what you do to me? I wish I knew." That's from 1963. Track 2 is "Away From You," again from 1963. And number 3 is "I Like It." I like it, I like it. I like the way you run your fingers through my hair. And then track 4 is "Chills." So tracks 1, 2, and 3 are from the EP "How Do You Do It," which was released in July 1963. So there should be another one somewhere. I don't know if these are in chronological order or not, so I'll just go through. So, like I say, side 4, track 4 is "Chills." That's from 1963, and that's taken from the Columbia EP "You'll Never Walk Alone," which was released in December 1963. "Shot of Rhythm and Blues," again, that is from the EP "You'll Never Walk Alone." "You'll Never Walk Alone," which is obviously from the EP "You'll Never Walk Alone." And then, what was that one? Yeah, so all them from that one. So again, there's only 3 there. Of course, "You'll Never Walk Alone" is one of the most famous songs. Again, Joe Marsden didn't write it. Brilliant song, though. Track 7 is "You've Got What It Takes." He actually wrote that one. Joe Marsden, no, he didn't. You've Got What I Like. Sorry, early. Didn't get much sleep last night either. Yeah, "You've Got What I Like." That is from 1964, and this is from the EP "I'm the One," which was released in February 1964. Track 8 is "I'm the One." Again, Joe Marsden wrote that. So there's only two actual songs from that EP on there. Then you've got "Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying." Don't let the sun catch you crying. Again, Gerry and his brother wrote that. That's taken from the EP "Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying" from May 1964. "Where Have You Been All My Life?" And that is from 1963, but it is taken from the EP "Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying." And then you've got "Maybelline," old Chuck Berry song, isn't it? And that's taken from the EP "It's Gonna Be Alright" from December 1964. So there's a good mixture of songs on there, isn't there? Some I'm not that familiar with, but you've got a few hits there, haven't you? So side 2 starts off with "You're the Reason." And that is from the EP "It's Gonna Be Alright" from December 1964, although the actual song is from 1963. "It's Gonna Be Alright," film version, written by Joe Marsden, 1965, and that's taken from the EP "Ferry Cross the Mersey." Ferry cross the Mersey. Love that song. Then you've got "I'll Wait for You," again written by Joe Marsden, 1965. That's taken from the EP "Ferry Cross the Mersey." Then you've got "Ferry Cross the Mersey," 1965, again taken from the EP "Ferry Cross the Mersey." Now the thing is, "Ferry Cross the Mersey," I didn't know till I'm reading this. I didn't even realise Joe Marsden wrote that. I always thought it was like a really old song that he just like updated. So I'm learning something even looking through these. It was also a film, believe it or not, and Cilla Black was in it as well. I think the foremost were as well. Released in 1965, it was in black and white, and I don't think it's ever been shown on TV in the UK. Well, I don't think it does anyway. Then you've got track 5 is You Win Again, and that is from 1965, and it's taken from an EP called Rip It Up, which was released in June 1965. Reelin' and a Rockin', again, that's taken from the EP Rip It Up from June 1965. Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, again, that's taken from the EP Rip It Up from June 1965. Then you've got Skinny Lizzie, that's taken from the EP Gerry in California, February 1965. Then you've got My Babe, taken from the EP Gerry in California, February 1965. Then you've got Away From You. Again, that's taken from the EP Gerry in California, 1965. And then it finishes off with What I Say. Oh, that's an old Ray Charles song, isn't it? And that's again from the EP Gerry in California in February 1965. All tracks were produced by George Martin, except a couple that were produced by Ron Richards. Which one was Ron Richards? Right, so the last 1, 2, 3. So the last 4 from that EP Gerry in California, they were produced by Ron Richards. Everything else is produced by George Martin. This compilation, published 1987 by C for Miles Records Limited, a Colin Miles compilation. And then it says, the trademarks Columbian EMI are the property of EMI Records Limited and are used with their permission. That is all the EPs. So we'll have a look at the record. Plain white sleeve. This I bought. I don't know if this is brand new or if it's used or what, but I must admit I haven't played this yet, but it does actually look like it's never been played. And all these songs are in mono. Yeah, I don't think this has ever been played. So that's side 1. Again, I will leave it for a few seconds so that if you wanted to zoom in, you can see all the information, who wrote the songs and things like that. And that is side 2. Nice condition. It does need a clean dank box. I don't think it actually needs a clean, it just needs dusting off. No, I don't know. I have got a few Gerry and the Pacemakers original LPs on the Columbia label. So until I saw this, I didn't even know this LP existed. So I can't say how much it's worth. I'll tell you what I paid for it. I paid £16.50 for that. Now, if they're saying there's 22 songs on that, that's not bad, is it? These EPs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you could find all 8 of them EPs, you'd probably pay a hell of a lot more than £16.50 for them, wouldn't you? Okay, I know that the EP is original, and this isn't an original. It's just a compilation. So I don't think that's too bad, to be honest. Like I say, by the end of 1966, the beginning of 1967, Gerry and the Pacemakers had disbanded, hadn't they? I think, didn't Joe Marsden want to become an actor and do television work and things like that? It's a shame, though. Gerry went solo and made a bid for chart success, initially with a CBS and later with NEMS and DJM. He has continued to reform various lineups of the Pacemakers for revival tours since the mid-70s and re-recorded all the early hits. The 20th anniversary album on the DEB label in March 1983. Yeah, so like I say, they are a very, very overlooked group, really, from the Mersey beat era. But I think the thing with Gerry and the Pacemakers was, although Gerry Marsden, like I said, was a brilliant songwriter, they did tend to do a lot of cover versions. And then obviously, like end of 1966, beginning of 1967, he was like getting into psychedelia and all that, like wanted it in the charts. And I just don't think they would have really fitted with that sort of thing. But then again, you know, we looked at them in 1963 and you looked at the Beatles in 1963 or 1962, say 1962, you know, in the 1962, Gerry and the Pacemakers was the biggest band in Liverpool, you know, and, you know, their first 3 singles got to #1 in the UK charts, didn't they? But it's one of them things, it's what's if and could be, isn't it, really? And, you know, I think Gerry just did what he wanted to do. Obviously, thought he'd had enough with like being a pacemaker or whatever it was. I don't really know what went off, so I wasn't there. I just think it's a shame that you know, they only really had like a 3 or 4 year recording contract. But, you know, they're remembered for one of the most famous songs in the world, aren't they? You'll Never Walk Alone. And if you go on the ferry, go to Liverpool and you go on the ferry, the first thing you'll hear is "Ferry Across the Mersey." You know, like I say, was a film called Ferry Across the Mersey, although I've never seen it. Don't know if you can get it on YouTube or not. But yeah, all in all, I'm quite happy with that. Like I said, don't really know what the album's worth, but you know, like I've said, I paid £16.50 for it, so I don't think I did too bad. And as long as I like it, that's all that matters, isn't it? And I didn't really buy this for me. I actually bought it for my missus, to be honest, because she likes Gerry and the Pacemakers more than the Beatles, to be honest. Well, she doesn't, but she loves Ferry Across the Mersey. So that's going to be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. If you're new to the channel and you have enjoyed it, and if you've noticed, I don't edit any of my videos, so I do everything live. And the reason I don't edit them is because I want it to be as real as possible. So if I met you in a record fair or in a pub or in a restaurant or in the street on the Beatles museum or something, and we started talking about records, if I made a mistake, I wouldn't say, "Oh, hang on a minute, I'm going to start this conversation from start again because I've just made a mistake." You know, this is my music room, which in reality is a spare bedroom. You know, I'm lucky. You know, I've got thousands of records. I've been collecting for over 40 years now, on and off. Sometimes I think it can get a bit out of hand, but you know, this is my passion. So yeah, so if you're new to the channel, hello. If you've liked the video, just do me a favor at the end of it, just give me the thumbs up and subscribe. That's all I ask. You know, just subscribe, watch some of my old videos. You know, it's not, although it's Beatle Dave, we do things on other artists like this one is Gerry and the Pacemakers. Yes, there's a Beatles connection because they grew up together, and the George Martin connection, and you know, things like that. So yeah, if you've liked it, just give me a thumbs up, and that's it. As always, love your records, cherish your records, clean your records. But above all, what do we say? Play your records, because that's what they're there for, aren't they? You know, to play. So, as always, look after one another. Be kind. If you, like I've just said, if you're new to the channel, check out some of my other videos. And there is actually a few about Liverpool that we made in the week. So that's it. So until the next video, have a nice Sunday and have a nice weekend, and I will see you all soon. So ta-ra for now, folks.